So, what is water weight? You hear stories of people who experience rapid changes on the scale, like losing 10 pounds in 10 days, 20 pounds in 20 days, and you wonder, is this even real? Could this really be fat, or what's going on here? I'm going to show you the science behind water weight and explain why some people see immediate changes on the scale when they adjust their nutrition, start a fasting protocol, or if they go low carb or keto. The biggest component of water weight is something called glycogen. Whenever we eat sugar, our bodies store some of that sugar in our liver and in our muscles. And when we reduce sugar, like when we switch to a low carb approach, our body is able to use some of that glycogen as a fuel source. And with every gram of glycogen that we use goes 3 to 4 grams of water. As the average person exhausts their glycogen, they naturally flush out that excess water through sweat or urine. Another way that we hold on to water weight is from the kidneys retaining water. When we eat nutrition that is high in processed food, this processed food often has lots of sodium, and the high sodium causes the kidneys to hold on to a bit more water. You can often see this in people's hands and in their feet. They're holding on to water. When you eliminate processed foods from your routine, you not only lower sodium, but you also lower insulin. That allows the body to excrete the water and reduce that fluid retention. Digestion also plays a major role. It is common to experience heavy bloating and sluggish digestion. And when we optimize our nutrition, we often increase our fiber and water intake. And this can result in a noticeable reduction in bloating that often shows up on the scale. Another factor is inflammation. When we eat heavily processed food, our body holds on to fluid. When we reduce processed food, we lower insulin, and the body is able to release some of that inflammation. Seeing that scale move when we're at the beginning of a nutrition protocol can be very, very motivating. But it's important that we don't get discouraged when it slows down, because inevitably it's going to slow down. We don't continue to drop at that same initial pace. The good news is that as soon as we get done with that glycogen, our body has to turn to stored energy in the subcutaneous and visceral tissue. And this is where you can really make some metabolic improvements happen. So get excited about reducing water retention and don't get discouraged when it tapers off.